Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the TripleJump podcast. It's a video game podcast. My name is Ben.
And my name is Ashton.
Ashton, let's have a look at that hand, please.
Swing!
Swing! It's got a ring on it. Hooray!
I'm affianced now.
Your fiance.
Yeah, you may have already seen on my social media if you follow me there, so it's maybe not a surprise. But I'm engaged. I got engaged in Japan. I'm a fiance now.
Swing. Congratulations.
I'm blinged up big time.
You are. Super blinged. We were so excited to see and hear that.
Yes.
And Peter and I, on last week's podcast, and did you miss the one before? I can't
I've
remember.
missed two.
Yeah, once we knew, we were like, we really want to talk about it, but we can't because it's not fair. It's not our news to share.
Yeah.
But congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Does MB become FB now, fiance Ben? Or is that too complicated?
I guess that's too complicated because I still keep calling him MB because MB always stood for my Ben. Mm-hmm. So I guess now some people thought it stood for my boyfriend.
You're going to call him MF.
Yeah.
This MF.
This MF. People were like wondering is MB Ben or boyfriend? It's both. Yeah. But now he's my fiance now, so I guess it's just back to
He's
Ben.
a real MF.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah.
You were in Japan.
I was in Japan.
How the flipping heck was it?
It was brilliant. I had a wonderful time. I walked so much, which was quite a lot on my body because you may know I sit down a lot. I'm a sit down kind of person. I sit down at my desk and then I go home and I sit down and I play video games. So going from that to 10,000 steps a day was quite a transition. However, it was wonderful. Saw lots of stuff, ate lots of food.
Yeah.
I got a few things while I was in Japan. Got engaged.
Yes, you did. You got a ring.
Yeah, got constipated for 4 days.
What was it? Do you know what
I don't
caused
know.
that?
I think it was just from the water or the food. And then after that, I got food poisoning and I got sick. But I also got some actual gifts, sort of gifts. I don't know.
Okay.
It's only really one thing as a gift because I was trying to find things for everyone, but I just didn't know what everyone would want.
Okay.
So I decided to just get one thing for everyone. Well, they need to go on the streaming setup.
Yeah.
I present to you.
Yeah.
The Wesker worm.
Oh my God, that's a tiny Albert Wesker.
Yeah, I went to the Capcom store in Tokyo.
Yeah.
And they had all these little weird worm guys of every character that's a Capcom character. Not that many Resident Evil people.
Okay.
I wanted Baby Eagle, but I couldn't find her. She was sold out. And I looked at Leon, but then I just looked at Wesker and I thought, he looks awful.
So cross. So you for audio listeners, you're calling him a worm guy.
Because he's like a little slug man.
He's shaped sort of like, those meme toads.
Yeah.
That just sort of squeak.
Yeah.
That's what he looks
He's
like.
rounded at both ends. He's got sunglasses on and tiny little legs.
Yeah.
It's really
Just nubs.
weird. But I just thought, he can sit on the shelf to commemorate all our Resident Evil that we play.
And his gun's pointing up on the side of him, which is weird. It should be
pointing at his own ear. He's going to shoot his ear off.
It's not very safe, yeah.
Yeah, but that's Wesker.
Can I look at him?
Yeah,
please?
do.
Oh, wow. He is...
He's so weird, right?
He's really weird. He's got some beans in him.
Yeah, he has got some beans in him.
Just a few beans and then the rest is padding.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
He is excellent. Thank you.
That's all right.
We'll take good care of him.
I thought everyone would appreciate him.
Billy might get jealous, but we'll put him next to Billy today.
Yeah.
There we are.
And there's one other thing that I got.
Yeah, we need to talk about this, don't we, really?
I went to the Nintendo Museum.
Why is it
ASMR.
rattling?
I went to the Nintendo Museum.
Did you swear there, just out of interest? Did you start to swear?
Did I?
I don't know. You said, "Oh, fuck." I sort of tuned it out, but I'm not sure.
I don't know.
We'll have to go to the tape on that one.
Yeah. Well, let's find out. I don't think I did a full swear. I went to the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah.
It wasn't that good. It was fine. It was interesting, but it's 2 floors. You go up an escalator first, and you're in a big circle room. And I'm spoiling this for you a little bit, but
I know. This is it. After the Herculean task of getting a ticket.
Yeah.
And now I've been told it's crap.
Yeah. So, you go in this room and there's all these games and stuff and all this stuff about all the different Nintendo consoles. And some of it's really interesting. You get to see some prototypes of what the Wiimote was almost going to look like.
No photos.
No photos. You're not allowed to take any photos or videos. Don't you get your phone out, you will get shot. Also, to get into the Nintendo Museum, it's in the middle of nowhere, quite literally the middle of nowhere. You're just in a housing estate and then you just come across this big industrial building, and that's the Nintendo Museum. And you have to go through like metal detectors and show your passport as if you're leaving the country to go into the Nintendo Museum. And then you go downstairs and there's a like bunch of these mini games that you have a little card that has 10 coins on it. Only 10, you don't get any more. And then you just spend them on various different mini game things.
Right.
And we were there for like 45 minutes, an hour.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I'm going to Kyoto.
It took an hour and a half to get there.
That's flipping believable. I want to swear now.
Yeah, right. But I probably could have spent more time there. And then went to the cafe and had the world's worst burger I've ever had in my life. I ordered the red bun. It came out pink and it looked like a shriveled ball sack. And I was like, and it took ages. I think I took longer waiting for the burger to come out than I did wandering around the Nintendo Museum, TBH. Yeah. And then I went to the shop.
Okay.
And I had saved like, I'm going to get some people some gifts like from the Nintendo Museum. I'd been to like the Nintendo sort of shops around in different places.
They have exclusive, supposedly exclusive stuff at the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought, let's see what I can get in here. There were nothing there.
Nothing
at all. There was like a hat that had like, I don't think, is it on here? No, it's not on here. There's a logo for the Nintendo Museum that's like 4 quadrants and it's got like Mario, like really old school and a bunch of different things. And there were some hats with that on and all of the designs were slightly skew with. So I thought, not going to bother getting that.
Good.
And also the design's not that nice. And then all around the walls are various different like console merches. You can get like a t-shirt, a mug, various different things with Virtual Boy on it, should you wish. Right. But there's not that much Nintendo exclusive stuff. And you could also only get 1 per person. So I thought I'd get the thing that we've sort of heard about, the little like keyring music box type thing that have potentially 1 of 9 different consoles on it that make the starting up sound.
But it's a blind box.
It's a blind box and they tell you when you pick it up, you can't bring it back if you don't like it. And I was like, okay, good sign. So I wanted to show you the one I got from the Nintendo Museum. I opened this on the train after we'd left and I could not stop laughing.
Really?
Yeah. So I got this Nintendo Switch.
Oh,
boring, right?
That's the least interesting one.
It's the worst one. For context, there's the Game Boy, Nintendo GameCube, the DS, the Wii U, the Wii, the 3DS, and I think the SNES as well. Are you ready for I don't actually think you're ready for the noise this makes.
Yeah, go on.
You ready?
Yeah.
Where's the button?
That sounds like
one more time, please.
Sorry.
Silence.
That sounds like the air brakes on a bus.
How terrible is that?
And how much was that?
£10.
£10 is a little red box.
Actually, it might not be. I think it was 100. They had the price on it.
Okay.
Wait, where the hell?
Maybe you peeled it off.
Maybe, but I swear I saw it this morning. I think it was like 1,100 yen, which actually is only about £7, but still. Like.
So you got a little plastic red box that hisses at you. That's crap.
This, I feel, is actually the definition of how I felt about the whole Nintendo.
Right, so it was sort of the cherry on the cake.
Yeah,
really.
I was like, that, it could not be more perfect, to be honest. So if you're thinking, I want to go to Japan, I want to go to the Nintendo Museum, don't bother. Sorry, Ben, don't bother.
I've got to go now.
Way more interesting things to do in Kyoto than the Nintendo Museum.
Pride alone says I have to go to the Nintendo Museum.
Yeah, you do have to go.
Because part of me thinks...
Would you like to go?
You know what? I would. Part of me is thinking, how bad could it be? How bad could it be?
It's not that bad. Like, I just wouldn't choose to do it again. And if someone was like, would you recommend going? I would say no.
I like that it's got an off switch on the back, just because you don't want to wear the battery down.
You don't want to wear the battery out.
Accidentally, you put it in your bag, you just hear like the fuse going off on a grenade. That was quite fun.
There's so many more interesting ones, and I wish I'd got something else. MB was like, I should have got one too, so we could have had a different one. We would have had the same. It would have been 2 switches, and they would have just been at each other the whole time.
Well, this is the thing with blind... It's not... The good news is that it's not annoying.
Because it's nothing.
The blind box, right? The problem with blind boxes is... If I go,
can't see in them.
And I will, that's it. That's the main problem. Hit the nail on the head. I'll finish my point.
Sorry.
Right there. That's it. You took the words right out of my mouth. You can't see them. I'm going to get one.
Yeah.
And if it's also Switch, the Switch one, there's going to be a big part of me that thinks, are they actually just all the Switch? Because it's the least convoluted or the least complicated sound effect to play. everyone who gets the Switch is going to be really disappointed.
Yeah.
Literally every other startup sound is more interesting than that.
Yeah.
The
What are you
GameCube
trying to say?
is the go. All right, here we go. There it is.
How
it's good.
awful is that?
Yeah. I'm glad you got it.
£7 I paid for that.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
Quite a story though, isn't it? That
It is
little
good.
thing.
I'm really sad that it's crap. The museum.
It's not awful. Like I think like it's not really a museum.
It feels the way you've described it makes it sound like a kid's activity.
Yeah,
sort of
I would
centre.
say it's like an experience. I think they should call it that because like you go in and there's all the games and stuff, but it doesn't really tell you much about it.
Yeah.
Like there's no text being like, when we first started, we made cards and then we tried toys and then we tried this. There's none of that. Like it's very much like the age of invention, and then it's just like a bunch of stuff they made.
Here's
and
the
then
Game
they're
and
like,
Watch. Yeah.
Here's the game, the Game and Watch and stuff. And like, yeah, it's interesting to see it, and some of the stuff is interesting to see. But for the most part, you're just looking at walls of games.
Mm.
And also, you know what did wind me up?
What's that?
There was no Cookin' Mama in the DS section.
It's not theirs though.
It's not. But other games weren't theirs.
Oh really? They showed
And-
stuff that wasn't theirs.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they didn't have Cookin' Mama. And I would say Cookin' Mama is the best thing that was on the
The
DS.
definitive DS game.
Yeah, absolutely. Cooking better than Mama makes.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Well, I'm going at the end of the month.
Yeah.
And the end of the first week of May.
Yeah.
I will be in Kyoto to go to this flipping museum.
Yeah.
And the whole time I'm going to be thinking, this is rubbish. This is going to be rubbish, isn't it? It's going to be
You should
terrible.
go to something. Are you going straight to the Nintendo Museum?
No, we're having to, because I thought the museum was in Tokyo.
No.
My fault.
Yeah.
Turns out it's in Kyoto. So we've now had to add an
Same
extra.
letters.
Exactly. We've now had to add an extra stop
Yeah.
in. So we are staying over in Kyoto. So we can do things in Kyoto.
Mm-hmm.
Good vegan food there, from what I understand as well. And there's, as you say, plenty to do.
Yeah.
But the main reason we're going is because I messed up and I thought the Nintendo Museum was in Tokyo. It's
Yeah.
not. So this is the main reason we're going.
Yep.
And it's bad.
Yeah.
Can't say, man.
It was the least good thing we did on our holiday.
And you had food poisoning.
And I had food poisoning.
Oh my God. Put that on the website.
Yeah.
Well, welcome back, Ashton.
Thank
I'm
you.
really glad you had a lovely time. And thank you for bringing Worm Wesker here. Wormsker.
Yeah.
He'll be welcome.
Yeah.
We should also say Peter Austin's not here.
Oh, yeah.
It's his birthday today.
It
At the
is.
time of recording, happy birthday, Tiny Peter. He is 478 years old today. And he's gone to frolic in a forest
Yeah.
or climb a castle.
In gnome
or
years,
something.
that's only 32.
Yes, 33.
33.
Gnome years. Yeah, so he's not with us this week, and I don't think he's with us next week, actually, on the
No,
podcast
he's
either.
celebrating his wife's birthday next week.
Lovely. Saccharine, quite
Yeah,
frankly.
yeah. And then he comes back, and then I think Ben goes for 2 weeks.
Yeah,
so,
then I'm off.
Yeah.
So we'll try and all get in the same room and do a podcast. Maybe we record on a Wednesday, perhaps.
Maybe.
We'll make that happen. But yes, happy birthday, Peter. Hope you have a lovely time. And it's just two of us today doing the video game podcast. This is our video game podcast, by the way. Thank you so much for joining us. Each and every week, we're sponsored by a very real video game adjacent sponsor. Helps us keep that light on in this room. I saw Dead Island 2 the Spider, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
He's in the corner of our shooting studio.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah,
he's
just
back,
next to the
he's back
setup.
to cam upping again. isn't
Yes, he is.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. You got the ad read there?
I do. A game came out this week called South of Midnight.
Yes.
And I don't know about you,
What?
but it's a bit bloody woke, isn't it?
For God's sake.
It features a woman and, get this, even worse, she is black.
I didn't think women really existed. I didn't think
They don't.
I didn't think we were
Especially
doing that
not
anymore.
in the south of America, which we all know is entirely white. So what they've done to like help sort of quash this, this game's too woke for me.
Yeah.
If you think it that, then they've made a game just for you. It doesn't feature any of the cool big frogs in that, but you get to play as a man.
I'm really scared about
Thank
where this is going.
God.
I'm a bit nervous.
And again, this game is for everyone who thinks it's too woke. It's
Okay.
called North of Midday. So if you think South of Midnight's a bit too woke,
Yeah.
don't you worry, because they've also come out with North of Midday, which you might actually say, if you were looking at a clock, means the same thing, because North of
That's very true.
North of Midday and South of Midnight are the same time frame. However, how dare you question the men that made this?
I'm worried,
Yeah.
right? Because, okay, I'll just ask it.
Yeah.
What do you do in this game?
Whatever you want, because that's what is a good That's what men can do.
Because it's your special day.
Yeah.
Your special midday.
Men can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
So you control your destiny.
That's nice.
You can steal other people's ideas and say they're yours. You can talk over people. That's fine. You can explain to me where Japan is and I'll sit quietly and listen to you as if I've never heard of this information before. And that's your right as a man in north of midday to do that.
This description makes me feel safe.
Yeah.
And not threatened.
Exactly.
I like it.
Exactly. Your masculinity is safe.
Yeah.
You are safe. Good for you.
Thanks. Can we clap again?
This one's for all the men out there.
Men. Oh, I hurt my shoulder.
Don't hurt yourself.
My masculinity.
He hurt his shoulder putting a t-shirt on.
You didn't need to tell them. My strongman image is being shattered. Yeah, I took my shirt off too fast and I've knacked my 2 days ago.
Oh my
and
God.
I still can't raise my arm properly. I'm old. I'm falling apart.
He is old. So true.
So this is real, yeah?
No.
No.
Sorry, you've only got the woke one to play.
Okay.
Which I've heard is really, really good and I'm excited to play it.
Yeah, it's on Game Pass, isn't it?
It is on Game Pass, yes.
Very exciting.
So,
But you're playing Assassin's Creed.
I am.
You got to choose.
Yeah.
Can't do it all.
One or t'other.
So we are not sponsored by North of Midday.
Mm-hmm.
We are in fact sponsored by our wonderful patrons over at patreon.com/Team TripleJump. If you go there and support us, you get access to all sorts of things like asking questions on this podcast, exclusive access to episodes of Rules Boss and Main Menu, and early access to episodes of Worst and Weirdest Games. Thank you so much, patrons. We really appreciate you. TripleJ.mup is our website. There you can find links to everything that we do, YouTube, Twitch, Discord, if you want a cameo from us as well. TripleJumpShop.com if you'd like some merchandise. I'm wearing my birthday shirt from last year.
You are wearing a birthday shirt from
Gamer,
last year.
100% complete.
Gamer.
Looking at it,
Yeah.
it's a bit blurry.
It's just because of the angle.
You reckon? It's high quality.
It's high quality.
It's really high quality.
It actually hasn't like scratched off or anything too
That's
bad.
good,
So
isn't
that's
it?
yeah.
It's in my work shirt pile.
Cool.
So it comes around in the cycle and I wear it to work.
Nice.
We do have an excellent birthday gift for Peter Austin, by the way. We'll give that to him next time we're able to see him and put it in the next available podcast.
Mm-hmm.
But he's going to love it. He's not. But he'll go, oh.
He'll go, wow.
Wow. Oh,
Thanks,
thank you.
guys.
That's really
And then he'll put it on the floor.
Yeah.
And then it'll get put on his desk and it'll stay there.
Yeah.
Until the foreseeable future.
And he'll never play with it.
Yeah.
It's something you can play with, but he'll never play with it.
No. Got to keep it crisp and pristine.
Yeah. I mean, that's half the fun, really.
Yeah.
You've got to look at it.
Yeah.
You've got to have
keep
it look
pristine.
nice. Yeah. You'll see it soon.
Yeah.
You'll see it soon. Thank you so much, patrons. Once again, patreon.com/Team TripleJump. It's the worst games ever week, Ashton.
It is. You lot played Chaos Break.
Yeah, this is a weird one. It's
How
almost
dare you?
It's almost
You played a weird game on Worst
weird
Games.
enough that it could be a weirdest game ever. But it's sort
Scum.
of Resident Evil coded Veronica.
Cool.
So that was pretty good. Thank you. Can we clap again? So that
Wesker Worm loved it.
he really enjoyed it, flapping his little nubs. So yeah, it's sort of like it feels very much like Resident Evil, but it's just not good at all.
Right.
In any way, the reviews were terrible, but very, very strange. And that's available on the channel tomorrow. And if you're a patron, you can watch it right now.
Yesterday.
Time for question 1.
Yeah.
Do you want to read it or shall I?
I think you should read it.
This is from Ferris Wheeler, who says, "Mellow greetings, bah." Nintendo, it seems, was caught off guard by the negative response to the Switch 2's high price point, along with the huge expense of the games. Former insiders are speculating that they are having full-blown war room discussions about how to handle this. Do you think Nintendo is really so out of touch they couldn't see this coming? Is the whole industry financially outpacing its own consumers? What steps, if any, do you think they will take to soften the blow? Yours in economic trepidation, Ferris Wheeler. Thank you, Ferris Wheeler. So there's a write-up here. I can't remember. It might have been from Kotaku via Yahoo. They embed stuff like all over the place.
Yeah.
Weird. Anyway, so this was spoken about in a YouTube video, a conversation between Krista Yang and Kit Ellis, who are Nintendo of America's former senior manager of creator relations and original content and former director of social media marketing and original content, respectively. And they said, one of the things that we were joking about is there is this thing called the war room that Nintendo usually has at these types of events and for these big sorts of moments. We were joking around and saying, like, oh gosh, this is the worst place possibly to be. But there actually is a purpose to the war room. It's their job Is that their job, is to look at what is happening out there, what are people saying, what are people thinking, what is the reaction, and come up with any solutions to any issues. They're basically not doing their jobs at all right now. Furthermore, Yang adds that they're definitely very aware of the situation, but notes that no solutions have been provided publicly. So, yeah, that was a bit difficult to read because it's just it's
a
quote.
write-up of someone having a conversation.
Speaking a sentence.
Yeah.
So this is, I mean, don't get me wrong, this feels kind of like a nothing story. This is just wild speculation that they're probably doing a war room, but they could be, but they've not issued a public response.
Yeah.
Like, I know they've not issued a public response, or we'll be talking about the public response, not the two people who used to work there who were aware that the war room exists.
They just know how the inside, like the internal situation works.
Yes,
and they're just assuming that this is what's happening. We don't actually know.
Yeah.
But I mean, there is a still conversation to be had around what they think about.
Absolutely.
Because during the treehouse, whatever the hell that means.
Yeah, the sort of the let's let our hair down and hang out after a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah, exactly. Stuff, a lot of the comments were just going, lower the price.
Yeah.
Lower the price. Because they didn't, during the Direct, reveal how much it cost.
Nope.
They revealed everything else, kept the price on the DL for both the games and for the console. So
yeah, it's, I mean, they obviously have to be having conversations about this. The way I've seen this reported on in other places is that Nintendo are in full-blown crisis mode. They're having discussions in the war room about how best to respond to this, and then the source is people going, oh yeah, they have this war room thing. They might be talking in there. And we don't actually know if Nintendo are really actually paying any attention to this at all.
No.
And if they'll budge even the slightest in terms of the price point.
I can't see the price lowering. I don't feel like Nintendo are going to bow to pressure on this one. I think that they have made a decision regarding the price. They know that they can sell it at that price and people will still buy it. So they're not worried about this. I remember we spoke about sort of predictions regarding how much it was going to cost. And I think like £400 was a pretty much standard guess regarding how much it's going to cost. And I don't actually think that is unheard of, and that is out of the realms of sort of fairness when it comes to prices. It's now the most powerful handheld sort of on the market, and it's quite affordable for what they're putting
Do we know
out
that
there.
Now? Have they confirmed?
It's slightly stronger than the Steam Deck.
Okay.
I don't know when I say the most, I mean like you've obviously got like the HP, whatever that one's called, and the Lenovo, whatever that one's called.
Console.
But as a mainstream console, sort of one of the big names, it's now I think the more powerful of the consoles. So I don't think they're going to lower the price on this one at all, and I don't know if they necessarily will need to. Like I say, it's going to sell like hotcakes, whether we like it or not. I think the issue is in the price of the games. That is, I think, the bigger problem here, in that Mario Kart World is now the most expensive AAA game ever.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem lies, because we've talked a bit about before with the GTA 6 potentially being £100. That is a scary possibility, because once one game hikes the price, everyone's got fair game to put their prices up. And I think it's a bold move of Nintendo to stick a price point of 80 quid on a Mario Kart game. I think I don't know why it's going to cost that much money. I don't know if this is, again, a pride thing of we can, so we will, or if there is something in this game that is so spectacular that they simply had to charge 80 quid for it. I highly doubt it, though. It's a Mario Kart game that works on the Switch. So, I don't know. That, I think, is the bigger problem when it comes to the prices from Nintendo.
Yeah. I think people are rightly miffed about these prices, and they're well within their rights to complain and see if there's any movement on there. Quite frankly, the defenses from Nintendo in regards to the price of this, and the fact that they're going to charge for the welcome tour thing as well,
oh my god, that's so funny,
is just not good enough.
No.
It's I don't have the quote, but it's something like, it's unbeatable. It's great. We think it's great value for money. It's like, well, I bet you do. I bet you do. But like, you're gonna anyway.
You're charging me for a tech demo, Nintendo.
Exactly, and analysts are already suggesting that it could be the fastest selling console in history, regardless of this price. But yeah, it's what Peter and I said last week was that we've seen, all sides of the debate in that some people are saying that, for what it is, it's worth the price. And, well, Mario Kart is the kind of game that you sort of just play forever, like an entire life cycle. So, it's justifiable in that sense. But the price of both just like does not appeal to either of us and neither of us really play a great deal of Nintendo. But if it were closer to the $350 price point, and if games were, even if they were $70, which is what everywhere else is doing at the moment, that would still be more appealing. But at the moment, it just doesn't it feels like they're getting really bad press from all sides when it should just be a victory lap at the moment. And the prices are clearly way beyond what people want to pay for it, even if it's been evaluated internally and they've decided this is what we need to sell it for. This is not what people were expecting, and they've got to be careful not to price their audience out of their system that they want. Absolutely.
And it could again be something to do with the current economic climate. It could be that, things have been shifting around for a little while and this is the price they've settled on to make sure they make a profit. Obviously, we know that pre-orders have been paused in the US while they figure out that tariff situation regarding how much they're going to sell it for to consumers in the US to counteract having to pay massive fees on it. So I think that maybe this is something to do with the market. I do think that it's a little out of touch of them to raise the prices, again, specifically of the games quite so high. You've got a console that is quite famed for being very accessible and having, everyone has one, everyone's kids have one, and it's, a console that is accessible to everyone, and it's suddenly become twice as expensive and twice as out of range for a lot of people.
I think he basically said, this may be Doug Bowser, who said this, again, citation needed across the board. I should have made a note, but I completely forgot. That when asked about the price, he said, well, we've worked really hard to make sure that there's lots of models of Nintendo Switch 1 available for people to play on. It's like, but people want the new one. Surely you want people to buy the new one. I don't feel like that's a good enough defense, even if there's going to be some cross-gen games. People want the new one, and you've priced them out of it, especially if the games are going to be that expensive. That's obscene.
I also think it's interesting charging for the sort of upgrade for games, specifically Mario Party Jamboree that came out, 6 months ago, and it's going to come out again in 4 months' time.
And you're $30 for the upgrade?
Yeah, charge me again for it. Are you joking?
There's just, I feel like as good as the Direct was, there's just so many question marks. People are really confused about how a lot of this stuff works. And it doesn't help that they didn't include the price there and then. But they announced loads of stuff. And slowly we've been getting more and more things like, actually, Joy-Con drift might still be a thing. We're going to charge for the welcome tour. The games cost this much. But how much does it cost to upgrade your games or to buy the enhanced version? There's the clarification is sort of coming out in dribs and drabs rather than actually just all being put out at the same time. And I feel like that's also harmed the perception.
I also can't figure out how you pre-order one. I was having a look the other day, and the only way I could figure out to be able to pre-order one, unless I had elite Nintendo power. Did you see that?
No.
So if Nintendo were inviting us.
You've been to the museum.
I know. That's what I was in the museum the day they announced the Nintendo Switch 2. Hit him with it, Ben. Exactly. That's how much I love the Switch. And I was looking at it, and so if you wanted to get one, they were giving a special invite to people who have played a significant amount of Nintendo Switch, and they have had a Nintendo Switch Online membership concurrently for the last 2 years.
It's a bit like that network test they did a while back.
Yeah. And also it was you've played 30 hours of Switch per month for the last 2 years. If that was you, they might have sent you an invite to be would you like to pre-order a Switch too? Still got to pay full price for it, you big nerd.
But you get to buy it from us.
It early. Yeah. And then Amazon were doing you could get an invite to pre-order them. They didn't give me one. Losers.
Argos, did you see that? Argos was trending on Twitter, and I was wondering what that was, and I clicked on it, and which is bad. I shouldn't be doing that. I see things trending now, and previously I'd ignore it, but now I'm like, oh, what's that? And
8 out of 10
usually,
times it's boobs.
yeah, well, no, most of the time I just get my feelings hurt because it's just sad stuff happening in the world. But this time it was in regards to the Nintendo Switch 2, and for some reason, even though pre-orders don't officially open until
I think they open this week.
Okay. Immediately afterwards, that afternoon, I think, or the next day, Argos were just letting people pre-order either both editions of the Switch 2 with Mario Kart World or without, and taking the payment and everything, and people would lock in their pre-orders straight away, which is weird.
So I don't know. I don't think Nintendo are going to do anything to soften this blow. I think that they have set their price point, and they're not going to pander to anyone who wants them to go down. I think it's a shame, but unfortunately, they've got a lot of skin in the game, and they hold a lot of the power. So they've got. Unfortunately, they're well within their right to do so. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know.
If anything, it's going to get worse with the tariffs. Worser, precisely. The price could only go up from here. I don't see them cutting the price of anything. I don't see them walking back the cost of Welcome Tour or even the cost of the games and stuff like this. I feel like this is it, and people are just they're going to lose a lot of goodwill over this, and they have already, and it does open the floodgates for as you said, anyone else to charge more and more for these games. He's like, well, actually, we think that the new Souls-like 3000 that we've been developing is worth $95 just because we think it is.
Yeah.
So
it'll be interesting to see if this will be a consistent price point across the Switch 2 games, if the new Donkey Kong will come out with an £80 price tag, or if this is a special game that they are putting at £80 and the rest will be slightly cheaper. I know that obviously not every Nintendo game costs the exact same amount of money. We also know they don't put them on sale very often.
No.
So we'll have to see whether £80 is a consistent thing across the board going forward.
That could be a way they could save face, though, as as you've suggested there, that Mario Kart World is $80. Okay. We don't like that. Well, unfortunately, it's $80.
Yeah.
Quickly, we need to make everything else $60, $70.
Make Donkey Kong game 60 quid.
And just pretend that this is a one-off.
They'll be like, wow, that's really cool. It's the price of every other game out there, but it feels good because the other one costs £80.
Yeah. I think Nintendo deserve to be bullied for this situation.
And you know what other situation they deserve to be bullied for?
Oh, yeah, go on then.
This situation. That's worth bullying Nintendo. I can't believe they did this to me.
Let us know though. Are you buying it regardless? Do you think that because I mean you saw the same thing with the PS5 Pro as well? There were a vocal group of people who were just like, well, I think it's great value for money, and I'm going to get one day one. And everyone else is like, what are you on about? Why are you defending this billion-dollar company? Like, I've seen a lot of Nintendo saviors out there trying to protect the, but they're raking you over the coals, my man. If you want one and that's how you want to spend your money, I'm not going to begrudge anyone who wants to do that. But I think I fully understand the vast majority of concerns that this is too expensive for a lot of people, and that's not on. So we will have to monitor the situation.
We will. Next up, I thought of this while I was in Japan.
Yes, we did do the ones that you sent us because you texted us a couple of times about those sections, and we tried those as well.
And they went well. Or?
They were all right. Yeah.
Okay. Well, this is new ones. Hopefully, you'll like this one a bit better. Okay, cool. It's called What We Playin.
It's What We Play in time to talk about the games what we have been playing. Ashton Matthews.
Yeah.
What have you been playing?
I've only played one thing in the last 3 weeks because I wasn't in the country.
Did you go to any arcades? Did you play anything on the plane?
I played some things on the plane. Well, one thing on the plane. But I didn't really go to any arcades. No. Okay. I mean, I played a lot of gacha machines.
Yeah.
I don't know if that counts as playing a game though. I just put 400 yen in, spun a little wheel and got capsules out.
Got a toy.
I spent so much money on those guys.
Did you get anything cool out of them?
I managed to, so I had like a mission to complete a pack of 6 that I had got. And I did finish it. Yeah. I finished it on the last day we were there.
Oh, hell
yeah. I have like 10 more.
Like, what are they?
They're like these little, they're Sanrio characters.
Okay.
So like, you
like
remember
Hello
the
Kitty
Hello Kitty,
kind of
but not
stuff.
Hello Kitty. You remember Bad Bats Maru, the black one?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
I got him and
Yeah.
all of his friends.
Okay.
One guy's called Tuxedo Sam.
That's great.
He's a penguin.
Excellent.
So I have all of them. But yeah, I spent about £25 and I have
Could be worse.
it could be worse.
Yeah.
But I have all these little guys now
Right.
that I don't know what to do with. But luckily I know a 5-year-old, so I'm just gonna give them all to the 5-year-old.
5-year-olds
Because
love
that
those.
feels like the kind of thing that 5-year-olds would like.
If you're 5, if you're 25, doesn't matter. They all love them.
Exactly. So I did a lot of those.
Mm-hmm.
Played a few sort of like claw machines, but a lot of the arcade. There's not that many like arcades.
Okay.
Like you go into some and it's like Game Emporium, and it's like, would you like to play pachinko or slot machines? And I'm
Right.
like, no.
Because they closed the big Sega world, didn't they? That used to have
Yeah.
all the arcade machines.
Yeah.
In. It's sad.
Yeah.
You also played some games at the Nintendo Museum.
I
as well,
did.
of
I
course,
played like a light gun game, where I came third place.
Hell yeah! Out of how many
Out of-
children?
Well, there wasn't that many children, actually, quite a lot of adults. It was about 10, I think it was maybe 10 or 12 people all playing along with each other. And then I came third place.
Hell yeah! Man.
And MB was like, I would have come third place if I hadn't decided to film you. And I was like, I didn't ask you to do that. That's on you, mate.
So you're allowed to film in those places?
Yeah, you're allowed to film it in the downstairs where the games are.
Okay,
But you can't film where the actual museum bit is.
Gotcha.
And I also played a game called Love Connection, where we had to hold on to these orb things and then hold hands and then do a bunch of mini games,
Okay.
which was it was like giving iToy a little bit,
Right.
But it was fun.
Nice.
And then you could do one that was big controller,
Okay.
where there was a bunch of games, and then you could just play on a big like N64 controller or something, which was
nice.
interesting.
Okay.
And then they had like a bunch of little screens that had sort of a selection of N64, of GameCube games, of SNES. But those all cost one coin from my thing.
You've got a small allowance.
And we can just get those on an emulator. So
Right, not worth it then.
yeah. So I played a few of those. But the main thing I've been playing, I played it on the playing back on MB's Steam Deck, and then I played it since I got home, is Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Thank you to Ubisoft for sending
Thank you
us a
so
code.
much,
Hashtag
Ubisoft.
not an ad.
Yeah. I must say, Ubisoft, please figure out the way to make Ubisoft Connect not annoying on the Steam Deck. please. But yeah, I played some Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's been nice to sort of like see places that I've been in the game. So I went to Osaka and went to Osaka Castle, and then very early on in the game you go to Osaka Castle, and I was like, I've been here. I was here like last week. How fun.
I stabbed a man there too.
Yeah, I clambered up the side of that just like you did. I've played about 8 hours of it, I think. And I've been playing mostly as Nawe, who is the shinobi assassin. I thought that I was missing something because I hadn't played as Yasuke the whole time. I was like, am I missing like the button to swap to play as him? Like, I don't really want to, because I much prefer to play as the assassin character, just from like personal preference of gameplay, really. Like, I'm not that.
It's because he's a man, isn't it?
Yeah.
Bloody knew it.
Too woke for me. I've kind of been like, well, if it's an Assassin's Creed game, I want to play as an assassin. Because the main issue I had with Valhalla was that I didn't feel like much of an assassin because I was a Viking. So I sort of like the sort of sneaking around and flipping over things. The like parkour feels really fluid, and when she's running around and flipping off things, I feel so cool. It's still got that Ubisoft jank where like sometimes she just yeets herself off things, or like just jumps the complete opposite way than what you thought she was going to do, which is a bit annoying, but not that deep.
Are there any penalties for not playing as Yasuke?
Well, I think,
or
I mean, I haven't got to the point in the story yet where I'm going to go back to play as him. I think I'm just going through the motions at this point and playing as her, and then at some point I will go and I will play as him. But I do think that there's certain areas, or I've heard, I haven't encountered any yet, where playing as him is like they sort of encourage you to play as one or the other character. So certain missions or certain sort of like fortresses or anything are more preferable to be played by one or the other characters, just based on how they're sort of laid out. I do quite like the hideaway sort of mechanic where you can build up your hideaway by like sending resources back to your camp. You can go into enemy territory and they'll have big resources of stone or hay or wood, and you can use 2 of your scouts, which you kind of gradually get more and more of stop hitting the mic as you go through the game, and they'll take it back for you. But you have to wait till like the end of the season. I don't know how long the seasons are naturally, or if you can only change it by actively changing it. But I was like, why haven't I got any scouts left? I sent them off ages ago.
Right.
What they're bloody doing? And then I looked and I realized that you had to change the season. So
in
I
the
had
museum.
Yeah, they're in the bloody museum in Kyoto. Get out of there. But yeah, so that's relatively interesting mechanic, and I do like building my little houses. Love Sims, love building houses, and every
Didn't
animal.
know that was a thing you could do. That's cool.
Every animal that you encounter, if you pet them or if you draw a picture of them, you can put them in your little house. So they can be dogs and cats and deer and mouses. Maybe mouses, mices, and wabbits and monkeys, and probably more that you can have in your house, which is nice.
That's good.
But yeah, I am enjoying it. I think it's good. There's a few times where you encounter like a shrine or a Torii gate, and there'll be a little sort of sparkling light next to it, and if you hover over it, it'll put something in your codex, but it will also say, "Hey, don't climb on this. Be respectful."
It's disrespectful.
Because the Japanese government were like, you are showing people desecrating shrines by destroying them or climbing on Torii gates, which you're not allowed to do. Yeah. So Ubisoft were like, yeah, fair enough, and have removed that from the game. You can, I think you probably could still climb on it if you got on like the right angle or something or whatever, but it's like, hey, please don't. Me and my homies think that's not good. Don't do that. Which I do like. I did fully run into a shrine and knock a bunch of stuff over because I just sprinted straight in. Right. And like it didn't kind of stop me or like make them undamageable.
You caught the game unawares.
Yeah.
It wasn't ready.
Yeah. But it's been nice, like sort of being in that world. Like it's really pretty and it runs really well. I've been playing it on PlayStation 5 now. I've initially playing it on Steam Deck. Does run really well on Steam Deck, to be fair, for a game that's that big. Drains your battery big time, but does play really well on the Steam Deck. And then I've been playing it on PlayStation 5 since I got home, and that has been running very well as well. I've not really encountered any bugs or issues. I've not been getting stuck or falling through the world or anything like that, which is pretty common in a Ubisoft game. So it's been good. I'm excited to play more. I'm daunted by the size of it. It feels absolutely massive. It's not the entirety of Japan, just so you know. But it's a big bloody chunk of it. So yeah, I've been enjoying playing that, and I'm sure I'll be playing some more.
Excellent.
What have you been playing?
I watched Mythic Quest, the most recent season, which ended relatively recently, I think, and it was great. It's so good. I really enjoyed that show, and it's very. You can tell it's written by, or at least they've got some good consultants in from the games industry. So they're like, all the language they use and even some of the references, rather pointed jabs at certain things are pretty good. So some funding gets cut, and one of the project managers goes, "Don't worry, we got a new backer from a Crown investment fund." And they were like, "Which Crown investment fund?" He's like, "I'm not saying." It's like, "Oh, that evil then." Okay, great. It's really good. This season definitely perhaps more so about the characters and the people in the show now as they've built it up over the past few years. But if you're able to, I'd recommend watching Mythic Quest. It's very good, very funny, and it's a good combination of sort of It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia and perhaps something a little less crude. You can the humor's definitely there, which makes sense because it's from a lot of the same people. But yeah, I'd recommend it very much. If you can watch it, give it a watch. I played a few things. I finished Resistance 2 on PlayStation 3, which was very exciting because this is a game that I have never finished, even though I got it at launch at the time, years and years and years ago on my PlayStation 3. And thank you again, I said it last week, but Eric Sue, one of our podcast producers, sent me some PS3 controllers because mine are dying one by one, and I tested them out. They work fantastically, and it's really nice to have some controllers that are in really good nick as well. So that's very kind of Eric. And also, when I was looking for some weird news, Nathan on the Facebook post for weird news,
I saw this.
was telling me about a hack where you can use your PS4 controllers on PS3.
Nice.
I was already aware of this. Thank you very much, Nathan. I did actually get when the PS4 first came out. they for some reason released the controllers before the console. So I had a PS4 controller and I was playing my PS3 with it at the time. And you can also use various tricks to connect it as a Bluetooth device as well. So you don't have to have it plugged in. Problem is that the PS button doesn't work.
Right.
But I still personally have a preference. If I'm playing PS3, I want to play with a PS3 controller, even though it's not very good as a controller goes. But yeah, I thought I'd mention that just in case other people were curious. So yeah, finished Resistance 2. That game, even on the easiest difficulty, gets really flipping annoying and hard towards the end. You just not very clear what you have to do, and you just get gunned down really easily. But
cool.
Yeah, I was happy to see that through, just like I was happy to see GTA 4 through the other week. I finished that too, so that was great. On top of that, I also played, reading through my notes, a little bit of Demon's Souls, because when I was testing the controllers out on PS3, I had it downloaded already and installed as a digital version. And let me tell you, the PS3 version of Demon's Souls is very janky compared to the PS5 version of Demon's Souls. I managed to actually beat the first boss that you're not supposed to beat. That's at the end of the tutorial, that's meant to just kill you and send you straight to the hub area. Yeah. I managed to beat it, and that felt pretty cool. And then the bit afterwards, it teleports you to an area where you have no choice but to die. Because it's like, well, we need to kill you. Yeah. So I went there and a dragon punched me in the face so hard I died, which was pretty cool. Got most of the way through the first level. But yeah, there's just like little things like enemies poking you through walls, and the controls are a little bit flighty in places where the way I died didn't feel, I mean, get good, right? But the way I died, I was like, I would not have died on the PS5 version of this game. Yeah. They've done a lot of fine-tuning on the PS5 remake, but it was cool to just give that a go. I wasn't mad or anything. I just started up on a whim. I didn't intend to play the whole thing. So I just played a tiny bit of that. Played a bit more Far Cry New Dawn. I am 2 missions from the end now. That game is definitely Far Cry. I don't know, do you remember in Far Cry 6, if you get up close to someone and they like rifle butt you and you just fall on your ass? Yeah. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Were they able to do that just endlessly? Because they can in Far Cry New Dawn. And it's really annoying because they can be coming at you regardless of their like difficulty level or tier.
Yeah.
You can be unloading bullets into them, and you go within like a certain range of them and they will just rifle butt you, and you immediately stop shooting, you fall on your ass, you stand up, and if they're still stood there, they'll knock you back down again. And they won't shoot you while they're doing this, but the other people will. Yeah. So it's like you can't get close to anyone to rifle butt them unless their back is turned, because otherwise they're just going to knock you on your ass over and over again. Also, I'm player 2, and map markers weren't showing up. We were trying to take some settlements, and enemies were invisible for me. Just usual Ubisoft stuff that's really good.
The special treats you get when you play a Ubisoft game.
Exactly, yeah. And the final thing I did was jump back into Warzone for the first time in like 4 years or so, because they brought back Verdansk, and I managed to get the old crew back together. We jumped in. Sweet merciful Christ, they have added a baby boot camp bot version.
Yay!
So like half the players are bots and the other half are real players.
Nice.
And we won like 2 games, and let me tell you, going from that to the full version of Warzone, the grown-up one,
brutal.
We got murdered immediately.
Yep.
And then we all said, you know what? We're all busy. We've got jobs. Why don't we go back to the baby one?
Yeah.
And then we won another game in the baby one.
Good
It was
for
like,
you.
This is great. We know that this is baby Warzone, and that's fine. But it's actually nice to be able to get some kills and stand a chance of winning.
Have a bit of fun, you know?
Exactly.
Enjoy yourself.
I'm really glad that they've got that mode in for specifically our use case, because it's great. You come away at the end and you do feel like you've actually got something out of it, rather than getting cross because you keep getting killed and you have to spectate for half an hour and not play. That's not fun. So yeah, that's what I've been playing.
Well, now it's time for question 2, which comes from John Ireland. All hail BAP! The Gamer Ant is reporting that COD numbers are at an all-time low on Steam. Does this possibly signal a shift in the old guard of gaming? I find COD toxic and haven't considered playing in years, but I've always been in the minority. Selfishly, I would love to see new blood enter the space that involves fewer angry white men. Sorry in advance, Ashton. I know you probably get a bunch of hate for talking about this one. We're already past that point. I said the word woke immediately.
Started strong.
Happy engagement though. Wish you and MB all the best. Thank you so much. Mrs. Giant and I have been married for 21 years. Hope you're married. It is great. You are going to love it. Thanks from the Jolly Green Giant, a formerly angry white man working on his empathy.
Oh, good for you.
Thank you, John. And thank you for the kind words. Are possible to Mr. Bed.
MF.
So I don't know if this is necessarily, again, that deep of a story, because I think that COD, specifically the new one, it's probably got more players on PC Game Pass because it's only £10 to play it on PC Game Pass, whereas you had to buy it for 70 quid. On Steam.
So it doesn't show up on Steam if you're playing on Game Pass?
I think Steam's just Steam players, not PC players.
Right.
I don't know if there would be a thing for that specific group of people, if there's a way to measure anyone playing on PC. But I think it's separate because Steam is just monitoring its own players within the game rather than numbers in total.
Right.
There might be a website that knows that, but I do think that we are seeing somewhat of a shift with Call of Duty, but I also do think that if you go on any live service multiplayer game, you're still going to encounter the same energy that you used to get in COD lobbies. I think they've just migrated over to the likes of Overwatch and Apex Legends, and maybe, I think less so in Marvel Rivals. I think that seems to have a relatively, I'm not going to say healthy because I've not played it, but I feel like the energy from that sort of side of things seems a bit better regarding how people speak to each other, which isn't asking a lot regarding, hey, let's just speak to people with a little bit of respect and kindness. But I do wonder if maybe there is a shift in how people play their games. I know that there's a lot of women entering the space now in a lot of these games. A lot of the time they still get absolute awful stuff, just vitriol thrown their way. But I do think we are seeing a big shift in who plays games, and maybe that's why things are shifting so much regarding what games people are playing and how they're speaking to each other. Maybe the demographic has changed a bit and people were just a bit kinder to one another. I think maybe that's wishful thinking because people are still mean. But perhaps, maybe, just maybe, some people are nice to each other online.
Alternatively, you can use the very helpful setting which mutes all players.
Absolutely, that
all
as
the
well.
Time. That's exclusively how I play, and I chat with my friends off the platform on either Discord or through the party chat on PlayStation.
Yeah.
So I never have to deal with any of that.
I don't play online games full stop, really. But if I do, I play them specifically with the person I want to play them with, and then mute everyone else. I have no interest in talking to anyone else.
Yeah. No, absolutely. That's probably the way to do it. I don't think Call of Duty's in any danger. Lest we forget, Call of Duty Black Ops 6 closes out December as the best-selling game of 2024 in the US. Call of Duty is consistently the best-selling, highest-grossing video game, apart from perhaps the years where GTA comes out, in any year that it releases. As long as it continues to make as much money as it does, and especially with its inclusion on Game Pass now, it's only going to reach more people. I see no other property standing a remote chance of eating any of its lunch. I don't see it's because across literally the last 20 or so years that it's been as dominant as it has been, it feels like we've had multiple stories about, the new Call of Duty perhaps isn't reviewing very well. Could this spell the end?
I mean,
for
even
Call
in the
of
last
Duty?
5 years, it feels like every other one is just not doing great.
Yeah. Modern Warfare 3 was an absolute stinker, and look how popular it still is. It's a cliche, but it's seemingly unstoppable because every single challenge that's come its way has made, or supposed challenge or supposed hurdle has made no impact on how popular it continues to be.
It's one of the few franchises that I think is a mainstay and a staple when it comes to gaming, and also, like you say, is just untouchable. I don't actually think anything could stop it unless Activision itself goes bust, and even then I think it will get picked up by another studio because it sells like hotcakes. Everyone wants a piece. And I do think that there's not many other franchises really that have that sort of just brute force staying power. Because even when it does a bad one, like you say,
it still sells really well.
It still sells really well. And then 6 months later, a good one comes out.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed doesn't have that power. Not anymore, anyway. And GTA maybe, but they don't release as often. Mario games, perhaps.
Yeah, Mario.
But again, that's just such a big sort of range of games. It's not quite as consistent as Call of Duty. I don't know.
Now, don't get me wrong. I would like to see Call of Duty brought down a peg or two, perhaps slightly, maybe just so they rethink some things, because they've lost some goodwill with their player base in regards to the AI usage with the image generation, particularly for skins and for skins, particularly for the particularly for use with skins, and also loading screens and things like that. And also just some of the recent skins and collaborations they've done are so fundamentally not Call of Duty that it's alienating some of the fan base. But there's big money in that.
They tried to be Fortnite.
They did. Well, yeah, that's the thing. They're successful enough without having to do this stuff. I don't know how badly people really want to be a Ninja Turtle when they're playing, or a Squid Game character. You know, it's weird and it's a bit off-putting, but you know, the physical games, or the games that they're actually selling, you know, you can play them and not have to deal with any of this stuff. Like I just play the zombies and the story modes normally. But yeah, like naturally, as these games lean more and more into the live service elements, seasonal updates and things like that, they're going to lose players along the way the longer it's out. And then increasingly, rather than maintaining a player base, they'll just see peaks every so often when a new season comes out, which is me. I'll come in and I'll play zombies when the new map comes out, and if I don't like it, I'll disappear again for a while. They've got me back in with Verdansk. I have had no interest in playing Warzone for years now, and so this stuff is just going to go up and down. But in terms of the longevity or the dominance of Call of Duty being challenged, I don't think it's likely.
It reminds me of people like look at a single player game, they're like, oh my god, 3 months later and no one's playing Assassin's Creed again. It's like, yeah, because everyone finished it.
People finished it now.
People finished the game and they've moved on.
It'll go on sale at Christmas, and then it'll have a big spike in sales again, and that's
those things always make me laugh when it's like huge crashing in the player numbers, and I'm like, do you know how games work?
The Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 one was the best one. When that was accused of being woke, and so people were just looking for any failure to take the piss out of it. And they were like, look, oh my God, it's day one, and look how the numbers have just tumbled. And it's like, my dude, everyone's in bed. It's night time.
It's the middle of the night.
Yeah, and then the player,
everyone's at work today.
Yeah, the player count then went on to just go even higher the next evening when everyone was home from work. It was so it's really funny. We've spoken before about how the numbers are in some cases, you know, really useful metrics to see how popular a game is and how things are going. But in other cases, they do often fuel just like either nothing stories or often hate. Yeah. So, I don't think Call of Duty's going anywhere. Unfortunately,
no, I think unfortunately it's fine. Yeah. Well, do you smell that? I kind of got used to not smelling it. Actually,
toast.
It's a bit.
You smell toast.
Yeah,
I smell toast. Am I dying?
Someone's making toast. It's a bit stinky, peculiar, really.
Is it?
Yeah.
Weird news. Oh. It's weird news time for some weird video game news. Remember, you can submit some weird video game news to us under the relevant social media post that goes out on a Wednesday. However, if you'd like to guarantee a shout out at this point in the podcast, you need to go to patreon.com/Team TripleJump, support us at the appropriate tier, and become a podcast producer just like
Michael Pendlebury,
Andy Scott,
Eric Siu.
Thank you for the controllers, Eric. Blake Thomas,
Chip Thompson-Sums,
Nicole Hansen,
Great Giggity,
GY Goliath,
Gabrielle Philipping,
and Big Money Bobby Vegan.
Yeah, hit him with it. I can't believe how bad that is. It's actually crazy. I have some weird news, and it's not just that this was on sale at the Nintendo Museum. That is weird. Comes from Samuel Benson on Facebook. Top fan, no relation.
Oh, he's my son.
He's my son.
Ben's son.
Comes from IGN by Vicky Blake. Fortnite is all vibes now as players in Sabrina Carpenter skins dance it out instead of fighting.
Oh.
Sabrina Carpenter has joined the ranks of Fortnite, and she's bringing peace and love to the Battle Royale. Developer Epic Games reported dance-related stalemates are on the rise, as players sporting the Sabrina skin are putting away their weapons and getting jiggy with it instead.
Oh, jiggy with it.
Yeah.
That is a thoroughly not...
Yeah, Sabrina Carpenter, like, she's... I'm pretty sure, like, they could have come up with a lyric of hers, but,
right.
you know...
Because I thought the way they started with, it's all about the vibes now. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a very Gen Z article.
And then they said getting jiggy with
I know
it.
what that means.
Yeah.
Will Smith said it in the 90s.
Vicky really aged herself when she said getting jiggy with it. Battle Royale is all vibes now, the developer teased on X/Twitter. So I was playing the game of Fortnite ZB Reload. What the hell does that mean? And I saw 2 Sabrina skins just hanging, explained one fan of the Fortnite subreddit. They crouched and uncrouched and stopped shooting. And well, before I knew it, us 3 became like 9 players who stopped fighting and only danced around. Truly the most wholesome thing I've seen in a video game, they added.
It had to end somewhere there. Who was the person who opened fire?
They didn't say?
Only one winner.
There may only be. They all just died to the blue.
To the blue?
To the blue.
What's blue?
You know, the circle.
Oh, okay.
It's blue.
Right, yeah.
I think. At least it used to be. I don't know if it's still blue.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine doing this in PUBG or Tarkov.
Is there a video?
Yeah, there's a few videos. I saw one on TikTok this morning. That's two Sabrina Carpenters
holding a gun.
Yeah, and now one's playing the drums and one's singing.
Is that an emote you can do? Just play instruments?
Yeah, I guess if you have it. Yeah, she's now that one. Another one's joined the gang. There's just people from all over the place.
Oh, that's fun.
Joining the gang.
I like sort of meta moments like that in games where players are communicating outside of the provided tools.
Yeah.
It's fun.
It's the girlies, I think.
The girlies
are like, see another girlie and they're like, let's just hang out. Let's not fight. Let's just do each other's nails.
My favorite one of those that I have experienced in a game.
Yeah.
Usually it's within like a From Software game.
Yeah.
So invasions, they happen and it's annoying, quite frankly. I don't enjoy the PvP.
Right.
So I was playing in co-op with a friend and we got invaded, and you can use either a spell or a single-use item to it basically turn into prop hunt. So you disguise yourself as a part of the environment. So you'll just become a statue or whatever, which is useful for invasions and things like that. It can be very practical. And so I did that with my friend, but we weren't trying to hide. We were just like, we saw the invader there, you know, covered in this horrible red aura, really threatening. And then there's just like 2 plant pots just sort of sliding along the floor really slowly in single file. And then this person ran up to me, used the same spell, turned into a plant pot as well, and we all just sort of followed each other around in sort of a figure of 8, and then they got out, waved, and then left. And I was like, that's great.
Cute.
I didn't get murdered and have to start again.
Gaming's so fun sometimes, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah.
I've got some weird news.
Oh, well, that's good, because
Yeah.
that's what we do in this segment.
You're right. This is from Joach Dix and Connor Bennett at CBennett12 on Twitter. And this article's from IGN, written by Rebecca Valentine. Yes, Mario Kart World's cow can eat burgers and steak.
Rough.
I feel like we've earned a reprieve today from the news chaos of tariffs and Nintendo Switch 2 pricing. So here's something fun, for your Friday. IGN played Mario Kart World at a Nintendo event in New York this week and confirmed that, yes, the new cow character can in fact eat burgers and steak and many other things as well. If you're wondering what on earth we could possibly be talking about, allow me to point you to the recent announcement of...
I don't understand where he's eating food.
Well...
Please tell me.
They might say. I'm not sure either. Which included the introduction of the Moo Moo Meadows Cow as a playable racer. The internet, of course, is thrilled about this, already coming up with dozens of memes and fan art for the adorable cow that, until recently, was nothing more prominent than a fun background character in a single Mario Kart track. However, as news of cows spread throughout the land, fans began pointing out a potential problem with another element of the Mario Kart World reveal. In the Nintendo Direct 2 trailer from Wednesday, Mario eats a burger. Burgers are typically made of beef. Would cow, whose people are ostensibly a source of beef, consume beef herself? Fans really wanted to know.
It might be a vegan burger.
Could be. Well, at the Nintendo preview event, we found out. You see, the food items we saw in the trailer are obtainable in Mario Kart World at Yoshi's Diner locations scattered across courses. They function like a drive-thru, allowing racers to drive up and grab a bag of takeout just like they would an item box. I'm not really sure to what end. There are lots of different food items that can be inside, including burgers, steak, kebabs, pizza, and donuts. And yes, Cow can eat them all. During our session, we also saw Cow eat a number of other items, including the burger. We're still a little hazy on what these items are actually doing for Cow. Other races change costumes when consuming them, but Cow doesn't seem to experience any effects. Could she be eating beef just because she enjoys it?
Is the character's name just Cow?
I think so. That's what
really
people have
funny.
called it. Is there a secret power-up she gets from burger consumption that we just don't know about yet because Nintendo hasn't revealed it? Or perhaps are these veggie burgers and Beyond Meat kebabs? IGN reached out to Nintendo to try and clear all this up, but we haven't heard back yet. I'm sure it's because they're busy at their New York event and not because this is an unhinged question to ask their PR about. Yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
It continues. But yeah.
I take it back everything I said. Worth £8 just to watch a cow eat a burger.
I wish it was called Moo Moo Meadows Cow. I wish the full name of the cow was Moo Moo Meadows Cow.
Yeah,
rather than just cow. So.
Yeah. Cow's a bit it's a bit bland, isn't it?
Sounds like an insult.
Yeah. Cow.
But that's my weird news.
Well, that's a good one. Thanks, Ben.
You're welcome. It's time now for the big discussion. It's big discussion time for the big video game discussion. This week it comes from David Lever. Bon dia ba.
Woo. Whatever that means.
The Minecraft movie is out. It's real, often upsettlingly so. I see the villagers in my dreams. And it is bad, according to reviewers, but not according to box office numbers, where it's doing rather well. Do you think film quality is no longer a good measure of potential success when it's a big, popular franchise? Or do some reviewers miss the point when they review camp, weird kids films as they're meant to be Citizen Kane? As if they're meant to be Citizen Kane. Thanks, David. P.S. Congrats to Ashton on getting back from Japan.
Thank you.
Also the engagement too, but mainly the flying bit.
I just threw my engagement ring on the floor while we were
Did you?
talking.
Is that what fell off?
Yes, my engagement ring. I'm fiddling with it.
I've got right up here from Axios, written by Sarah Fisher. A Minecraft movie sets records over the weekend with the biggest box office debut for any video game adaptation in history.
Oh no!
Box office experts predicted that the Jack Black fantasy comedy would bring in $90 million on the high end. Instead, it raked in a whopping $163 million in its domestic box office debut, making the biggest box office weekend opener by far this year. The film brought in $313 million in sales internationally per Comscore, helping to offset production costs of $150 million. A Minecraft movie broke the domestic opening weekend record for game adaptations, which was previously held by the 2023 opening of the Super Mario Bros. Movie. I've got the video game openings. This isn't their lifetime grossing, just how much they made in their openings. A Minecraft movie, $163 million. Super Mario Bros. Movie, $147. Five Nights at Freddy's, $80 million.
I forgot they made that movie.
Sonic the Hedgehog 2, $72 million. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3, $60 million. So people liking it. People are throwing popcorn around when he says Chicken Jockey.
I don't know if people
thing.
are liking it or if it's just they're memeing on it to a level where it has become a meme to go and watch the Minecraft movie. I haven't been yet, partially because I've not had time, but also partially because I don't want to be in a room with those people.
Where they throw popcorn
I
and
don't want
drinks
people
at you.
I don't want to get covered in popcorn.
No.
I don't want to make a mess for the cinema staff. I haven't seen many people in England acting the way that I've seen the clips
I've seen a
from
video of
America.
people cheering in the UK, but not
Cheering
throwing
is fine.
stuff everywhere.
This morning I saw people with huge bags of popcorn, just throwing it everywhere, and that annoys me.
It's not fair.
Yeah. Sorry, someone is shouting.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on
I
out
don't
there.
know what's going on. Look, I think this movie is still not good. I don't think the critics were wrong when it comes to the Minecraft movie and its quality. I just think that it's bad to a point where it's funny, and that's why it's doing well. I love bad movies. Quite famously, love a terrible movie. Borderlands was just a bad movie.
It wasn't even funny.
It wasn't funny.
Awful.
It wasn't funny. But the Minecraft movie is funny because it is bad. No one is watching this and being
Chicken Jockey.
yes! He said it! Yeah, it's funny because it's bad, and that's why people are going to see it. That is the meme, is to go and watch the Minecraft movie and shout like you're watching The Room. But I don't think they got it wrong, and I do think that maybe we as a community of people need to demand more than we are getting. But when things like this happen, it sends the wrong messages, guys. Guys, it's sending the wrong message. They're just going to keep making Minecraft movies forever, and we're never, ever going to escape it. It's going to be like a Venom situation.
It's already been greenlit.
Or wasn't it a Venom? What's the one?
What are you after?
Morbius.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they kept releasing it back into cinema because people were Morbin time.
Yeah, but nobody went to see it. That's the difference here.
But the issue is that I feel they're going to learn the wrong lessons from this. I feel Warner Bros. Think that this movie's doing well because people love the movie. Then that is not what's happening here. People hate the movie, and that's why it's funny.
Counterpoint.
Yeah.
The kids love it. I think the kids will.
I don't think I've seen a single child in any of the cinemas. Like, everyone who's filming it is full of adult men.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of the videos of people causing chaos are teenage boys. That's what I've seen.
Yeah.
But let us not forget that this is ultimately a family movie. And there are going to be a lot, and especially with all the merchandising that's going on, the Happy Meals and things. I think Minecraft being as big as it is, if we're going from numbers alone, it's at least twice as popular as Sonic the Hedgehog. Kids flipping love Minecraft. And if they're going to go to the cinema, they're going to go and see the Minecraft movie. Yeah. And I feel like you're right. There are people like I always wanted to go and see it because I thought this is going to be horrible. Mm-hmm. But now I want to see it more because of the reaction to it. However, I can't believe that the vast majority of the people going to see this movie aren't children. There's got to be a huge family contingent to this number.
I would love to know the stats. I would love to know how many kids' tickets are getting bought, or if it's like how many adult tickets are. Because I think that the reason it's doing so well, like you said, it's because people are buying tickets to go and see it with all their friends and like taking the piss. It's like, I can't remember what movie it was for, but there was a movie, I want to say Boss Baby, but that might be wrong, where like all of the teenage boys were going to the cinema all dressed like in full suits to go and watch like a kid's movie.
Oh my God.
And like it did really well because of the kind of trend of like, well, all of my friends are going to go see it dressed in suits. I can't remember what movie. I want to say Boss Baby, but I think that might be wrong. But I fear that the kids deserve better.
In terms of quality of movie, almost certainly.
Yeah.
You know, I think you can watch the Disney animated movies you had as a kid now, and they're still of a high quality.
Yeah.
I feel like, especially the CGI, and there is a version that's leaked online with unfinished special effects that's really horrible, very cursed. The kids are going to watch this in 15 years and maybe have nostalgia for it, but it's not going to hold up well. But yeah, like clearly it's an incredibly popular movie. It's doing way better than it has perhaps any right to do. And you're right in that reviewers aren't wrong. They can't hold... They like reviewing movies is a world that I'm not massively familiar with, but I imagine they can't hold the Minecraft movie to lower standards than any other kids movie.
Yeah, they don't think, not every movie reviewer is like, in order to be a 10, it has to be Citizen Kane. They're very much like, in the context of this situation, what does it deserve? And I don't think that they've necessarily been unjust with what they have given it. I think it's sat at like 47.
Popular movies, unlike games, popular movies are not always well reviewed.
No.
There's a lot of Marvel movies out there that haven't had the best reviews, but like sell like hotcakes. And then there's also, you've got the Transformers movies, against all logic and reasoning, went on for ages, and I thought they were crap and they didn't review very well, but people love them.
Movies are inherently like rated by the people who go to see them. Like the critics aren't who the movies are made for. The movies are made for the audiences.
Unless they're art house movies.
Unless they're art house movies. But for the most part, these blockbuster movies, specifically video game movies, are made for fans of the franchise, for children, and the audience to experience. And it doesn't really matter. We often say this with video games as well, like, unless the critic is someone that you often have the same opinion as, you have to find someone that you think likes the same things that you like and experience it for yourself. But
the key difference really between video games and movies, and even video game movies, is that a really bad review score for a video game can and does spell disaster for the performance of the video game, unless it's something like Call of Duty. But movies inherently are such a mainstream medium that reviews ultimately do not matter really to anyone. Like people, if people are interested, it's all about marketing. If people are interested in what it is, they'll go and see it. And that's it's just very different. So
it's not going to win an Oscar.
No, it's not.
It's going to win one of the, what are they called? The Razzies.
Razzie. Oh, it's got to.
I'm sure
Chicken Jockey.
It will have a few Razzies under its belt, and it's not going to win an Oscar, and it's not going to win any of the other ones. Is it Golden Globes or is that TV? I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't know.
I don't care for that stuff.
Care, but...
Is did you hear earlier? Sorry, that Jack Black was not the original casting choice.
Yeah, they wanted Matt Berry.
That would have been so much more interesting. Imagine. That would have been really fascinating.
In an alternate universe, it's Matt Berry and The Rock as Jason Momoa's character and Jack Black.
That would have been fascinating.
Yeah.
I really morbidly want to see this movie.
I really want to see it. Time. But I think I'm going to find some other way to watch it.
Hey, by peering through the windows.
Yeah. I'm going to put my eye through the keyhole of the fire exit that's always next to the cinema screen and just watch it that way.
Watch it that way.
I just don't want I feel like I'll get annoyed. If people are like being really annoying, I don't want to be associated with them. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to walk out the cinema and they're like, those adults who've come to see Minecraft and whooped the whole way through. Yeah. I'd be like, I was dead silent. I didn't even laugh one time.
What we need to do is wait for it to come out at home.
Yeah.
And then have a group screening.
Yeah.
We'll go Chicken Jockey, and then we'll all throw our drinks at the walls.
Each other,
and we can do it in our own homes.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be great. But critics aren't wrong. This movie is not good, but that doesn't matter when it comes to movies.
Yeah. Maybe I'll bring a bottle of Prosecco and pop a bottle of Prosecco.
Smash it against the wall.
And watch the Minecraft movie in the cinema.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
I'm going to see it. I might see it before the next week's podcast.
Well, maybe if we'll organise a time to go and watch it. Because I think MB wants to go and see it as well. Yeah.
We'll go see Minecraft Ben.
Yeah,
I'll go see the Minecraft.
He loves it. That's what the M stands for.
Yeah, it does. Wonderful. Well, thus concludes this week's podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. There's a few places around the internet you can find us. Ashton's going to tell you about 3 of them.
I am. YouTube.com and twitch.tv/team TripleJump for all of our video and live stream content. We're normally live stream on Twitch, but occasionally we do live stream on YouTube if we're feeling a bit frisky.
Whoa.
If you have Amazon Prime, you can use your free Twitch sub that you get with your subscription on us. You get all the benefits of being a subscriber, and it doesn't cost you a single penny. Thank you. Also, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and Blue Sky, on all of which we are Team TripleJump. So follow us there for all the latest stuff.
There you go. Your turn now.
Thank you.
Patreon.com/Team TripleJump, where you can get all sorts of.
Oh, sorry.
We can get you a bit trigger happy there. We can get all sorts of amazing rewards. Please do consider going and supporting us. Thank you. TripleJump is our website. There you can find links to everything that we do. Our video game is TripleJump/video game. Go and wishlist on Steam. And why not leave a 5-star review on your platform of choice? It helps something to do with Al Gore's rhythms. Thank you. Thank you. Ashton, can I hear this sponsor one more time, please?
Yeah. If South of the Midnight's too woke for you, then don't worry. You can play North of Midday and be content in your personal bubble.
Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.